welcome to the next project. Thanks for joining me. And this is my kickoff video to my unofficial Great Guitar Build Along 2021 Scratch Build Learning Curve Guitar Project series. This series will be, I have no idea how long it's going to be until I get it done. Then it'll be done. There is going to be a lot of work, a lot of trying new things for me once again in this build series. And if you've never built a guitar before, there are a number of different things you can do. Obviously, you can build something, I don't want to say simple, but something simple like a Telecaster, and it's still a lot of work. Or you can build something more complex, and it's just that much more work. I've had this project in mind for probably a decade, and it's always, I've always talked myself out of it. I was always like, that's out of reach. And it probably still is out of reach, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I have a lot of custom things to do along the way, and this video is gonna be kind of the kickoff to everything I have to do just to get to the point where I can start building a guitar. So please hang with me. You might see some things and go, wow, never thought about that, or yep, thought about that, that's why I'm not building that guitar. We all learn somehow. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Well, let's get started with the next project. This project really starts as a dream I had probably a decade ago, and a fascination I've had with the Gretsch big body guitars. The 6120, the Electromatics, also the Gibson 335s have always been kind of interesting to me. So I finally got around to mustering the courage to giving it a try, and that's causing me to learn a lot of new things. That was rather exciting. I keep trying to learn my lesson and not freehand things, so I'm doing the work and making the templates. And here I'm cutting out master templates and getting them shaped the way I want them. Doing a lot of the base work just so I don't have to struggle quite as much in the future as the project unfolds. A little technique I've developed is to use a piece of paper and trace the shape as I'm sanding it. It's easier to see the shape of the template once you trace it onto the paper. And here is another paper template that I'm using to cut what will be my rough working templates. Since the masters are made, this part of the process should go pretty well. I have a chunk of MDF. This is 1/2 inch thick MDF, and I'm using my master templates to trace out the shape that I need to cut here. And I'll move on and chop it apart using my bandsaw. You can also use a jigsaw for this, it will work just fine. I just happen to have the bandsaw rolled away from the wall at the time, so I figured I might as well use it. Using some double-sided adhesive pattern tape, and I am sticking the master template to my working template, going to my makeshift router table and copying the shape onto my working template, getting it nice and clean, smooth. And now I have an inner and an outer lower master and working template ready to start cutting up some wood. The templates will be used to help shape this 3/4 inch plywood, and I think this was cabinet grade plywood. I think it's, is it 11 ply? It's either 7 ply or 11 ply, I'm not sure now. It's a pretty good grade. It's not flooring grade, it's not roofing, sheathing, it's just a really good quality plywood. I wanted something that would be stable and would last a long time. Again, I'm assuming this whole project will work out and I'll be able to reuse these forms. Well, that's my plan. There is a lot of repetition at this part of the project. I have to cut out all of these plywood pieces and get them so they're all pretty much the same as accurately as I can. Stacks and stacks of plywood, and this is only for the lower portion of the guitar body. again using double-sided adhesive tape and sticking my working templates to all of the cut-off pieces of plywood so I can replicate the shape over and over and over. This is a factory work here, even though my factory is a single-car garage. The process went really well, and I'm using what's called a compression bit in my router table there. It does both up and down cut at the same time, and the bit has a bearing on the top and bottom. For this instance, I'm just using the bottom bearing. And now I'm repeating the whole process on the inner part of the lower body form. Overall, it went pretty well, except for the fact that once I got all these pieces made, I realized my inner form was about an inch thicker than I needed it to be. Clamping wise, I have a bunch of 6-inch clamps, and I needed to remove that much extra material from the inner form, just so I could use some of my smaller clamps as an option, which we'll see later that I didn't necessarily use the 6-inch clamps in this area, but it worked out pretty well anyhow. There's just so much work going on before I can actually start building a guitar. I really felt like I wasn't even building a guitar. I really felt more like I was building a piece of furniture or building a barn, or I don't know what, maybe making pallets. It's just a weird feeling and a little bit discouraging, but I was able to have the vision in my mind and I knew what my goal was, so that helped. But I really wanted to be putting guitar parts together, and in a way I'm working on the guitar parts that people typically don't see. Here I'm working on the outer part of the form, and it is actually 4 pieces. There's 2 double ply inner core parts and 2 outer single ply parts. And here I'm using my little spindle sander to help even everything out while it's screwed together, just to make sure I have a nice smooth surface for when I glue the sides together. I get a good uniform smooth finish. Making the side forms, or the body form, or the body mold, I don't even know what it's really called, for this learning curve build that I'm doing. I'm probably reaching way beyond where I should be, but I'm trying to make this side mold, body mold, form, whatever, to do about 4 different models of the same guitar. I'm trying to do kind of a standard acoustic, I don't say dreadnought, but that general body shape. Upper and lower bouts are pretty much the same. I'm trying to do a single cut style version and 2 different double cut style versions. One double cut that would have this same shape, top and bottom, and then the neck would come in and attach here. The other double cut version I'm gonna try to do is maybe more like a Les Paul Jr. double cut, where it's cut away so the bottom and the top join straight right through here, so the neck goes all the way back and attaches back here instead of up here. So I've got a big double cut option going on. I've got templates all over, I don't even know what they're. So anyway, I'm trying to modify these forms to do at least 2 different things right now. And I should just be gluing sides together and moving forward. Instead, I'm messing around with my forms and trying to think to the future so I can build other things. And this is all based on the assumption that this guitar is going to work out anyway. This could be a huge flop and I'll just have wasted a bunch more time. It happens. Let's continue with the next project. I can't seem to help but modify everything. Even the stuff that I make, I modify. Here I'm making a filler for the neck so I can make a double cut version of this guitar. And this is a simple little clamp in piece that will only be used when I'm putting the sides of the body together, getting ready to glue the top and back on. Before I even commit to doing any gluing, I start doing some test runs, and I probably did like 3 or 4 different clamp ups of this. My inner and outer forms have about a 1/4 inch gap between the two, and here I have a piece of yoga mat which is 1/4 inch thick, and it's 2 different density foams. There's a firm foam and a harder foam, and my hope is that when I get the multiply veneer sandwiched against the outer part of the form, and I put that foam against the inner side of it and then clamp the inner part of the form in place, that it will apply a good even pressure and keep everything sandwiched tight so I don't get any voids or air bubbles or anything in my veneer. I have a little bit of concern that horn area may have too much gap, and I think about modifying my form even more, but I decided to just run with it at this point and see what the result would be. And I'm going to do a test glue up here in just a moment to make sure I don't need to modify things anymore before I commit to doing final sides. Time has come to suck in my... No, I didn't suck in my gut. The time had come that I should have sucked in my gut and mixed up some urea formaldehyde pre-catalyzed glue, mix it with water, and using a roller applicator to get the glue on the veneer. And now the veneer is going to go into the body mold. I'm using some wax paper on either side of the veneers to hopefully ensure that it's not going to stick to anything, which, you know, that could happen. We've all glued our fingers together with super glue and fun things like that, and this would be a big mess if I glued it to the form. So I'm hoping that all will go well, and this is the first time I've used this glue, so I have really no idea what to expect. Oh man, that came out of there so easy. A nice surprise. It's looking good. I'm impressed. Project has come along pretty good, and I did a sample side made out of 5-ply of veneer. It's long grain, short grain, long grain, short grain, long grain, for a total of 5. And I used a UF resin glue, which is pre-catalyzed. It's urea formaldehyde. It's powder, and you mix some water with it, and to the proper ratio, and you get a nice creamy pasty stuff. Not a paste, it's creamy. You can roll it on really easy. Get everything coated up, clamp it in the form, and leave it alone for about 24 hours. And this popped out of the form really easily. I was so surprised. Very happy. It's nice when things kind of go right. So now I need to get all my stuff organized and make 2 official sides for my unofficial build. Make a new top and bottom side set, and also get after the top and back. That will be probably in the next video, I hope. Thank you very much for sticking with me through this. I hope you were entertained, maybe learned something, or said, yeah, don't want to ever do that. That's crazy. That is true. Please ring the bell, subscribe, leave comments, and stick with me. I'm gonna be doing more. I have another project going on, as you probably know, So we're going to try to wrap that one up soon too, as soon as some parts come in the mail. What can you do? Please be safe and take care. Bye.